Here to perform our national anthem, please welcome award-winning, multi-platinum country music icon and star of the upcoming Fox series Monarch, Trace Adkins.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
The search is over. The most comprehensive oval scoring solution is here. Featuring oval playoffs, adjust drivers per round, custom number of rounds, custom playoff points, provisionals, optional win and you're in, custom playoff displays, rookie championships, optional minimum participation, and load those results in seconds. Visit extremescoring.info today.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
From Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.
The following is an All-Star 15 TV production.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to All-Star 15 TV. On the broadcast tonight, it is the ACAR Frey Truckin series coming to you live from Talladega Super Speedway. It's cutoff night, where we find out which 8 drivers are moving on to the next round of the playoffs. Joining me up in the broadcast booth tonight are 2 of probably the funniest and fun people to broadcast a race with. First off, it's going to be Joe Hutchings.
Good evening, everybody.
Really? That's where you're going to go with that? Just good evening. It's like Count Dracula or something. And joining me again, Brandon. How are you, pal?
I am doing very well tonight. Ready to see some awesome trucking in the Frey Truckin series.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see what we're gonna have tonight, because guys, there's a reason why they moved Talladega off of a mid round race. There's gonna be no saving tonight. It's get your best shot, make it to the next round, or you don't. It's going to be very tight, as we're going to bring up the points in just a second. But what are you guys looking forward to towards tonight? We do have a pretty small gap between 7th, 8th, 9th, all the way down to actually 9th and 10th. Just about 10 or 15 points separating. So with the more people we have tonight, the more things can change.
Well, what I'm looking forward to tonight in general is everybody has an opportunity. The points matter, but the points don't matter. So we're going to see every single driver out there doing what they can to ensure that they're there at the end to have an opportunity to win and make a name for themselves and move to that next round.
Yeah, absolutely. Adam Capps, Paul Irvin, both feeling very good coming into tonight's race. But with the amount of 15 people we have, there's still room to lock yourself further in. You know, you get a bonus point for leading a lap, leading the most laps, getting the pole, and the hard charger award. So look for some of these drivers to really try to play some of those strategies to pack their stats tonight, as qualifying just about halfway over here this evening. Hit that like button, subscribe, follow. But let's talk about some of the drivers to look out for. Joe, who are you looking out for on the racetrack tonight?
I'm going to be watching Adam Capps tonight because, you know, leading the points, he might just say, you know what? I'm already locked in. I'm going to go for a dub. So let's watch him tonight and see if he can put on a show for us.
Yeah, I don't think he's quite locked in, but he is very close to being locked in. James Shane Wolf missed last week due to a weather issue. He was displaced for the evening, so he was awarded last place points. So he's right down there in the mix, where all season long he's been further up on the running order in the standings. So he's gonna have to come out swinging tonight. Matt Cochran, Brett Murphy, all these drivers have to hope other people in front of them aren't having the best night. And the only thing you can do is be up front for yourself, and where the chips lie, they lie. How stressful is a cutoff race, Brandon? Especially when you, on top of that, it's Talladega.
Oh, it's extremely stressful because at Talladega, you can get caught up in somebody else's chaos. One person taking the race into their own hands, and in the hands that you don't want it to be in, where you're risking wrecks, with whatever position you're in. That's what you are most nervous about, is that you're not going to have an opportunity at the end. And that's why, for me, I'm looking at drivers who are joining into the series and looking to make a name for themselves, who are not in the running, who this is their opportunity to shine and to spoil it for some of the other drivers.
Yeah, that's a good point. Playing spoiler, probably something you're gonna see maybe Daniel Park or even Daniel Krim, who we've seen on the channel many times, and how good of a plate racer he is, and even Mike Robinson, with how good they are on plate tracks, super speedways. Look for them to play spoiler tonight, mostly because they have nothing to lose. Everybody else, especially the ones with the red banner with their name, have something to lose tonight, or something to gain if they're willing to throw a little strategy, use some other cars that they normally don't work with to try to make their way towards the front. We're looking at just about a minute and a half way before we start lining everybody up for that one parade lap around Talladega Super Speedway. Let's go over kind of the strategy for tonight. We're doing 60 laps. These trucks can go anywhere from 17 to 23 laps on a tank. As qualifying just finished, giving the pole to Paul Irvin. Where are you making your friends? Because we do have a couple teams in here with Darnell Racing, Hutch Sport Racing, Warrior Enterprises. There are a couple teams, but when we get later on in this race, boys, is it who you're around?
You have no friends at Talladega.
Okay.
That is completely accurate. It's who you're around in the moment, who can give you the right run. Joe and I have definitely run these races, not just racing against each other, but crew chiefing for each other. And it is all about survival and ensuring that your car is there at the end. So whenever you're at the end, whoever's near you, that's your buddy until you get to the final corner, as Krim found out last year for me in another series.
So let's run down our starting lineup for the Nerds Doing Nerd Things podcast 150 from Talladega Super Speedway. Paul Irvin, your pole sitter. Outside pole, the driver of the number 1, James Shanewolf. In row 2, you have Daniel Park and Adam Capps. Row 3, Brett Murphy, Daniel Krim. Row 4, Matt Cochran and Mike Robinson. And row 5, rounding out the top 10, Lucas Strayer, TJ Barnier. In row 6, Derek Stanley and Chris Sawyer. In row 7, Michael Steele, Joe Darnell. And then rounding out the field in row 8, you have Logan Tackett and Alan Michael Bennett. Guys, what's the strategy call for you? Joe, put yourself on the booth or on the war wagon. What's a key strategy call at these super speedways?
We have found that riding around in back is not the place to be. My strategy today would be balls to the wall, boys.
Brandon, I know you've crew chief quite a bit. Where would you take your driver on how to attack tonight's race?
I am telling my driver, you're going to want to stay within eye shot of the front, but you're going to want to ensure that if that car gets sideways slightly in front of you, you got space. So lay off, but be within striking distance if you need it.
We have started Limp Biscuiting around this racetrack. If you don't get that, you're a little too young. We're rolling right behind the iRacing official pace truck. I know Joe's probably shaking his head or laughing because I made a Limp Bizkit joke.
Actually, I'm laughing because that's one of Veda's favorite songs. Shout out to the kiddo.
Well, yeah, it's a good song. It's a very good song. But we're about to go green, boys. I'm Agent Capola. You have Joe and Brandon joining me up in the broadcast booth. We're doing 60 laps around this place, 150 miles. All your drivers with that red tint over their name on the tower. Those are your playoff drivers. Hit that like button, subscribe, follow. We're watching all channels for chats.
Well, you already got a storyline already brewing because Daniel Krim is still sitting on pit road.
Ruh-roh, Raggy. You know, that might actually be smart for that 47. Because wasn't he caught up in a Talladega turn 1, lap 1 wreck recently?
I do believe so.
So that'll put him behind the 8 ball, but it's not like we're not going to have a caution. Nine of our 12 playoff drivers are in the field this evening. We'll try to deduce who's not here outside of Ryan Fry in a little bit, but here we go. Pace truck is off through the tri-oval. They go. And green flag in the air. It's cutoff time at Talladega Super Speedway. And just like what we thought, Daniel Krim coming off pit road as the field goes flying down into turn number 1, side by side. Got a couple teammates on that outside with Shane Wolf and Caps, as already Daniel Park hitting the eject button and getting out of there.
Well, and I don't know about hitting that eject button at that level. I think it's better off to get into a line that's slowing down as opposed to slowing yourself down. He's going to lose the draft here.
Look how separated they already are. We're not even done with the first lap. That inside lane is killing it after Shane Wolf and Caps drop down right in front of the 48 teammate, Paul Irvin.
And when we talk strategy, whenever you see it get spread out like this is where Joe's strategy of going balls to the wall really plays a factor and is a good thing. Because you have cars further back that are going to start to lose the draft quickly. You don't want them to get spread out too much if you're in the back.
That's a really good point. We're going to have to keep an eye on that 47. It's showing him a lap down. But it looks like if they keep stringing out in the back, he might catch a tow from somebody back here as Adam Caps takes the lead once again. Your points leader on the inside lane. But here comes Shane Wolf with a shove from Matt Cochran.
Is that the brotherly shove?
I don't think either of them are Philly fans. But no, I would say no because it got that number 1 really squirrely.
Well, unfortunately, the drivers that are a little bit more towards the rear understand that they don't want it to get strung out either. So you've got drivers like Strayer and other drivers that are looking to make their way up to that top line to ensure it's side-by-side racing so they don't lose sight of that front of the pack.
As you're seeing the 41 on the outside, 3 wide, just hemorrhaging positions early on in the race. He's -5.
I really wouldn't worry about where your position is at this point, at least this early in the race. I would just try to ride.
Ooh, 48 in the wall.
Yeah.
Ooh. He went way to the outside and went a little too far. It clips the turn 1 wall. Gonna lose a bunch of positions. Drops back to 7th. But that inside lane looking very strong with Matt Cochran, Brett Murphy, and TJ Barnier on that inside lane with the 22 of Mike Robinson right behind them in that inside row.
Well,
apparently, according to the chat, Krim dropped his water bottle and missed the start.
Well, hopefully his rig didn't get wet.
Yeah, that might be an issue. As they are 3 wide up towards the front, Cochran leads that lap. but league owner TJ Barnier looking for the point. The only race he's actually running this season.
Well, and he's one of those spoilers. You got drivers who are going to do one-off races and make a name for themselves. They're the ones who are going to spoil it for everybody.
Look at Joe Darnell on that outside being pushed by Shane Wolf. I think as the race goes on, that outside lane is going to be a very, very strong line on the racetrack. It's easy to defend, and if you can get the right people up there, you could freight train with the best of them on the inside.
Well, and that bottom line gets clogged up so easily because you have to check up whenever you get 3 or 4 cars in a row on the bottom, where they can still have a good draft on the high side and not get clogged up.
As Shane Wolf hits the elevator and goes straight to the inside in front of Matt Cochran, leaving the 71 of Bernier with no help.
Well, and this is where it's at. They're being dicey, trying to go 2 and 3 wide, trying to keep the momentum up. You know, if I'm sitting where Paul Irvin is at, that's where I want to be, where I have enough time to react.
As you can see, that inside lane being put together really well. You got to go a little bit further back to see where they're starting to go 2 by 2. That's Paul Irvin, Joe Darnell, the 5 of Michael Steele, the 2 of Adam Capps, the 88 on the outside. Happy birthday, Kevin Silverado of Alan Michael Bennett. The 6, I think that's the 6 of Logan Tackett. Shows him in the 3, but in sim he's on the 6. But for the most part, oops, sorry, Brandon.
You're all good. Those cars that are side by side behind this lead pack, they've got to be worried about losing that lead pack.
Oh, wow. Yeah, look at that gap.
Yeah, they're going to need to get themselves organized or hope that they get racy again out front, which it looks like out front they are starting to get a lot more racy again, looking to try and go 3 wide. That's going to help this pack catch up.
Robinson to the point momentarily going into turn 1. Shane Wolf's going to take it right back over with Brent Murphy on the inside, and here comes that pack.
That's a perfect example of how being organized is so important at this racetrack for momentum.
And they were clear by almost a second and a half, too.
That's the power of the draft. It's Dega, baby.
Oh, TJ Barnier is clipping the 22 on the right rear. That is not a spot you want to be pushing somebody. These trucks might be a little more stable, but we've seen these race trucks spin out really easy.
Well, and that's a great point about where it is that you can push, because the drivers who have been racing in this series all throughout the season, those are the drivers that understand each other a little bit more, and you know who can control their truck and who can't. When you have the likes of, you know, TJ coming in his one-off race, or you have Daniel Krim, Mike Robinson, and some of those drivers who are just starting out, you don't know what they're capable of, and it's another variable you got to
really
consider.
racy up there. But that's a really good point, Brandon. You're mixing season-long veterans to guys just showing up for a race because it's Talladega and wanting to play spoiler. But they are really getting racy up front. And right there, I honestly thought we were going to see Mike Robinson go for a ride with a bad bump from the 71 as Daniel Park is looking to the outside with no help. Robinson's going to come up and help right in front of him.
I don't think Mike wants to be patient right now.
Yeah,
he just wants to be out front.
Mike's also doing a lot of work too.
Pretty sure he's listening to your strategy and going balls to the wall.
Let's jump on board.
He really knows about that wall, doesn't he?
Oh. We kid because we care.
Coming to lap 11 on. And this is what you mean, Brandon. When you're on the inside, you're off the throttle a lot. There's a huge bottleneck. Watch that outside lane just fly by.
Absolutely. Now you're going to have the driver of the 88 car be able to get a massive run and make his way up. He's going to gain about 5 or 6 positions on that top line because that bottom line gets so clogged up, and he's going to catch this draft.
Daniel Park getting a hell of a shove from TJ Barnier, but Matt Cochran with teammate James Shanewolf right behind him. That one right now is looking for a decent finish and to probably help some of his teammates out.
I would have somebody spitting numbers at me just so I knew where I needed to be, just so I could make the playoffs. I wouldn't be trying to risk it at this point. Even if there's a slight chance of not making the playoffs, I would just be riding.
Well, right now, everybody's fair game. You know, while Adam Capps, Paul Irvin, and even Derek Stanley, Brett Murphy, while they're okay, they're not locked in. If they finish last or close to last, and some of those drivers, like Chris Sawyer, Chris Sawyer, Alan Michael Bennett, if they have a good night, there's a shot that they overtake them.
Someone needs to shout out that Chi-Chi's truck. Chi-Chi's is coming back.
Yeah, we were talking, we had Gary on the show like he normally is on Tuesday for XMS, and he was talking about how good and how happy Chi-Chi's when they're returning back to a restaurant, right?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of restaurant is it?
A celebration of food. That was their slogan back in the 90s.
And I like food.
I gotta be honest, I've never been to a Chi-Chi's.
You don't know what you're missing.
Do they have biscuits like at a Red Lobster?
I mean, my favorite biscuits are the ones from Texas Roadhouse.
My favorite are the Limp Biscuits. I mean, is that another Limp Biscuit reference?
I hear the smile on Joe's face right now. But up front,
I'm smiling because we keep talking about food and I'm hungry.
You're
we had
always
the
hungry.
7 car popping out of line.
Yeah, it looked like the 64 was going to go with them, and the 64 was like, nah, never mind. But Daniel Park just gets out of there, and he's going to need some help. He might lose the draft here.
Well, one thing I keep seeing is I'm seeing the 22 truck of Mike Robinson as well as then the 12 truck of Joe Darnell. They both keep trying to crowd the low line in order to get a side draft to keep that top line up, and I think it may be too racy for some people too early.
On board with the 12. And there goes Robinson, completely leaving the 12 to the outside.
Well, and if the 12 truck goes all the way to the back, he's going to remember that one. I know you gotta be worried about yourself, but you don't just leave somebody out. Hopefully the 12 truck's going to get a pickup here.
Yeah, that's Strayer in the 41. But huge shout out to Robinson. He is bunny hopping the drivers on the inside row. He'd get a position, drop back in line. Get another position, drop back in line. He's even with second place, Matt Cochran, right now. He's kind of stalled out. But let's see if that 12 is going to help him after being left dry about a lap ago.
Yeah, it looks like they got all linked up.
And what a run indeed going into turn 3. Now, if they can get that 41 to the back end of the 12, never mind.
Well, and that's the thing a lot of these drivers want to do is they see the lowest side as the fastest line because it's the shortest line. But you can really work up your momentum on that top side, and that truly is the fastest line if you get people to commit.
It's also what we've seen in real life at these super speedways. It's an easier line to defend as well.
I don't understand why these guys aren't rim riding right now. I'd have an entire line of cars up on a high line. It's the easiest line to run here at Talladega.
And AJ, I think we're going to start seeing cars pit. I'm getting some word over the comms that there are drivers calling out they are going to pit road.
Well, look at that. Mike Robinson gets the lead and everybody's going to ditch him.
I mean, I would too.
Well, let's see how easy they come down pit road.
Oh, here comes the 22 staying out. Shane Wolf, Barnier, the only two this time by hitting pit road. I don't know what Robinson was doing. It looked like he was coming to pit road and decided to stay back out on the racetrack.
Well, I think he was trying to decide if there was enough people coming with that group or not, because the thing is, if you have 3 or 4 cars, you're able to get a good amount of momentum. But if you think only 2 of you are going down pit road, your momentum can suffer.
Well, then kudos to him for on the fly. All right, never mind. And without wrecking anybody, we're losing that much time, able to get back in line and run with this front pack.
But if everyone pits at once, which I think might happen here, you run the risk of getting run over. Look at how all these cars go down pit road.
Ooh,
as they lock it up.
Wow, look at all of them.
Well, now they have to find their pit stall without spinning on pit road.
Contact between the 7 and the 10 at the back. Adam Capps and Paul Irvin are 2 drivers staying out. And I got word, Shane Wolf just taking fuel. TJ Barnier took fuel and tires.
That's not good. That's going to split them up, and they're going to get sucked up real quick.
They are very much split apart. Heading back out on the racetrack, the first one, Brett Murphy, Lucas Strayer, Joe Darnell, Daniel Park, all coming off of pit road. There's Chris Sawyer. Mike Robinson, the biggest loser on pit road there. Here comes Paul Irvin and Adam Capps, as they are very much separated hitting pit road.
Well, and they came in nose to tail, and Paul stuck it in. He deep dove into that braking zone on the pit road, which is usually a good thing, but here you want to be as close to the other driver as possible.
Here you go. The 64 and 41. Nose to tail. Joe Darnell trying to close in. Might have a tow here. But they have one heck of a gap to Daniel Park, Chris Sawyer, and company back here. Holy cow, do they have a gang of trucks.
Well, and what we ended up having was we had 2 separate groups of 2 cars and then 1 large group. And if you look who had success, it was the large group.
Yeah, they are about to catch everybody.
About to get
there's
gobbled
Paul
up
Irvin.
like it's Thanksgiving.
Now, if you're this big group, do you try to get in a line together to get right up by everybody? Or do you just try to Tetris it your way through?
That would be the strategy call. And by doing that, you can sit there and railroad everybody in front of y'all. You just got to keep everybody together. But you could also cause an accident at the same time.
Yeah, I don't want to ask for the over-under about being an accident, because that second pack has got a run and a half.
Well, and what they need to do is they need to take that run to the high side and trust their own momentum, and everything should even out. I don't know that I'd be weaving back and forth, but what they really need to ensure is that 10 truck goes with that top line and doesn't just push the 48, which looks to be happening. because otherwise they could end up losing some of that momentum.
Daniel Park pushing the 22 to the lead and leading that lap. Here comes the 12 of Darnell as the 22 is going to jump ship to the inside.
As he should, because that top line, now that the second pack has really gotten to the 48, that top line's going to lose momentum, and you can see the 7 car get left out. He's going to have to find a hole here. That Chi-Chi's truck takes it 3 wide instead of going with the 7. This is going to suck them both back to the back.
Yeah. Daniel Park looks like he can get a driver to the front, but once he gets left, drops about 5 or 6 positions.
Drivers are taking note of that, though. They can see that he's a great pusher, he's smooth and he's consistent, and if I can find him at the end of the race, he's the person I'm going to be loyal to.
Oh, they are 3 wide.
Oh, dear.
You better hold it real good down low because they're going to be side drafting as they're bump drafting.
Ooh! They're right up against the wall on that outside.
I do believe the 7 scraped the wall.
And he didn't lose a beat.
Nothing wrong with a little bit of net code in that wall.
As we're staying 2 by 2 by 2 or 3 by 3. Because math is a thing.
Yes.
We're going to see that 3 by 3 work. And I got to hand it to these drivers. Being able to do 3 wide. I know Talladega is wider than Daytona, but it's still intimidating to be 3 wide.
For you.
Wow.
I have my moments.
I remember having great races with Brandon back in the day. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we go way back. All the way back to 2011 racing together.
Oh, God. I feel so old now.
Oh, I know.
Maybe that's why my back hurts.
Old.
Bald.
Absolutely old.
No, that's me.
And there goes that third line.
Well, and they're dicing around now. They're trying to ensure you see the 22 truck come up there and get that top line. I don't know. He's trying to work the drafting lanes, but he doesn't see where the momentum's at, and that bottom line's going to get him.
And
He's going to get left out.
I don't think that 22 has a spotter tonight either. So he's doing everything by feel, by sound, and by his mirrors. Because usually he has somebody from Warrior Enterprises helping him on these super speedways.
Hey, if you don't have a spotter, what I say, when in doubt, both side it out when you're out front.
We're almost halfway through this race. You know that?
These guys are doing a fantastic job at not wrecking it. Like, I give them a lot of kudos. We're seeing a lot of great action on the track, and they're not wrecking it. Although I think you may have jinxed them here in a second. As that, oh, what a push.
And that's another thing with running that middle lane. You have an exit route to the outside. Spotter and crew chief for the 22 is on vacation and eating ice cream.
Congratulations on your vacation, sir.
The question is it a permanent vacation?
I don't think so, because I'm pretty sure it'd be Gary. Up front, it's Shane Wolf and Robinson. Then you have Irvin and Darnell. Park is back up towards the front. You can't keep him away from the front of the pack. That number 7, as he is shoving the 48 hard into turn number 1. And there goes the 48.
Well, that was perfect. If that high side gets organized, that high side will be faster than the low side.
And there goes Robinson once again by himself on the outside. Now that's what I would expect from some of these drivers. They get pushed to the lead and they stay out long enough to pull in the truck that pushed them to the lead. Just like what we saw with the 7 and the 12. This is wild. How we haven't wrecked yet with how we're driving is beyond me.
Now you done it.
Well, that's the strategy difference. Someone's got to be right, either me or Joe. Either you go balls to the wall or you don't. And right now,
sorry,
I'm gonna hold my breath while this happens.
I had a Campigio moment.
I need a new pair of drawers.
I saw the 12 take an immediate right-handed turn up the racetrack. I don't know if that was assisted or not, but it was definitely scary as him and Shane Wolf are going to come back to the inside lane. And now the only truck on that outside lane is a 22 of Mike Robinson.
I hate to tell you all this, but there's a pack of 4 trucks that shaved a good chunk of change off of the gap. 2 laps ago, that gap was about 11 seconds. It's now down to 9.6.
Yeah, and do you see who's the second truck in that 4-truck pack?
Mm-hmm.
Lap down driver Daniel Krim after he missed the start of tonight's race. He's praying for a caution and praying that he's not in it so he can get the lap back. We've seen how fast that 47 is on these super speedways. He just needs a little bit of luck on his side.
Oh, it's coming. You know it's coming because you already gave it the curse.
Well, in talking a little bit through driver strategy, so one driver in particular that I saw doing exactly what I would be doing at the beginning, and one of our chat members called him out as one of his buddies. Tackett there, you can see it's the 3 car on your scoring monitor. Oh, who's going around?
That would be Tackett.
I may have commentator cursed him because I was going to say he's exactly where I would have been, doing exactly what I would have done.
And we're going to have to do this the old-fashioned way. Here it is. There goes Tackett. All right, jump on the hood of Robinson.
Oh. There's another one around.
I think it was the 6 again.
No.
No, we got the 7 car around in the tri-oval.
Not a lot of damage on that 7 either, as we are staying green. But he is losing a lot of spots.
Well, and that's going to be the next concern is you have Krim, who maybe wanted to try and get his lap back. You're going to have Tackett, who's going to want to get his back, and Park.
The 7 just lost it. Out of nowhere, no contact. I wonder if he clipped the apron in the tri-oval.
Yeah, it's one of those moments that whenever you're letting up because you're catching the car in front of you, if you let up in the tri-oval, your car will shoot into a direction, usually to the low side. And if you're close to that apron, you're going to barely tap it, and it's definitely challenging for holding on to it.
So 2 incidents within a matter of a half a lap. We keep it under the green flag. Pit stops are coming back out soon. We have a casualty of the number 3 Logan Tackett and the 7 of Daniel Park. But that 7, no damage, no nothing, just lost a lot of time. And is continuing to lose a lot of time.
Well, it sounds like we're about 2 or 3 laps away from pit stops based on how the comms are going.
And right now, down these straightaways is where you're going to want to set your black box to what you're going to want to take. Now, at any point, Brandon, do you want to take tires if we're still under a green flag?
If I'm honest, I'm looking at what my tire wear looks like, and if the tire wear looks fine on the last stop, if I'm at 80% at that last pit stop or better, I'm not taking tires. And more than likely, you're sitting at a 90 or 95% at the last pit stop. So no, I'm not taking tires.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
right
you
there
got to
with
Lightning McQueen that stuff.
Well, if that's the case, they're all going to blow on the last lap, and everybody's going to finish as a tie.
I mean, entertainment, right?
Yeah, but that was Bristol
Chaos.
Motor Speedway.
Hashtag chaos.
And they go to Auto Club. All right, everybody is moved down to that inside lane in preparation for pit stops. Joe Darnell's leading the field, followed by James Shane Wolf, Mike Robinson in third, Brett Murphy fourth, fifth, Michael Steele sixth, Lucas Strayer seventh, Matt Cochran, Paul Irvin in eighth, ninth, it's Chris Sawyer, and in 10th, it's Derek Stanley.
And we've only had one driver of those 4 drivers who were in the groups of 2 who are still at the top. So I'm coming in with everybody. I'm not doing a 2 or a 3 car pack in.
And here we go. Here goes the field. Literally the field.
But we do have a 4 car pack that stayed out, and that is a key to success right there.
Yeah, the 4, 48, 41, and 47 of Daniel Krim. Daniel Krim pit back on lap 29. So right now he is 2 laps down. But he's looking at the lead right in front of him.
Well, we just have to hope that Daniel Krim doesn't have a wet racing rig. That will be a success for the day.
Yeah, if it comes away unscathed.
Exactly. If it can't be the truck, better be the racing rig.
Yeah. There goes the 4, 41, and the 48. Paul Irvin being very aggressive coming to pit road.
Well, we saw him do that on the last one also. It allowed him to stay with the pack, but it did lose his drafting partner the last time. But it looks like everybody went with him at a good pace this time.
And here comes the 10 of Chris Sawyer and the 77 of Derek Stanley. But it looks like when we cycle through, it should be Mike Robinson, your race leader, with Brett Murphy getting a little draft. Strayer is back on the racetrack. Irvin is back out on the racetrack. Already down into turn number 1 is the 41. Here's the gap. Entering turn 1. Up to speed is the 22 and 64. While on pit road, that 41 had a phenomenal pit stop along with Paul Irvin as they are clear ahead of the 22 and 64.
Now, they came down pit road after they were in a group of 4, and I said that was going to be a key right there for success. They had enough trucks, but coming off pit road, they are spread out, and this team's got a full head of steam behind them with the 22 truck.
Yeah, they'll get the Paul Irvin right here. And the 64 is going to make the first move to the outside, using Irvin as a pick.
He made it too early, and that's going to be to the benefit of the 41 truck and the 48.
Oh, hold on, wait a minute. Wait a minute. How about that? The 64 passes 2 trucks on the outside to take the race lead. Brett Murphy to the point. Definitely didn't have that on my bingo card.
He made the right move for himself, but it means that there are 6 trucks now battling here in this lead pack.
Yeah, making that move, Brandon, you're right. Did slow that whole front 4 up quite a bit to where Matt Cochran and Michael Steele able to catch back up, as they have a 6.5 second lead to James Shanewolf and company, Chris Sawyer and Derek Stanley.
Well, and we saw how Mike Robinson has been very racy the entire time, so don't think he's going to sit in line. That's going to make this pack slow down. It's going to be to the benefit of Chris Sawyer, Derek Stanley, and James Shanewolf.
All right, everybody, we are coming to 20 laps to go. You are watching All-Star 15 TV's broadcast of the ACAR Frey Truckin series, Nerds Doing Nerd Things podcast 150 from Talladega Super Speedway cutoff race. We will be right back. You won't miss a thing. We're going side by side.
From Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join Nerds Doing Nerd Things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.
The search is over. The most comprehensive oval scoring solution is here. Featuring oval playoffs, adjust drivers per round, custom number of rounds, custom playoff points, provisionals, optional win and you're in, custom playoff displays, rookie championships, optional minimum participation, and load those results in seconds. Visit extremescoring.info today.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And we are back from Talladega Super Speedway. 18 laps to go. It has been pure chaos all night long. Paul Irvin, currently a race leader, followed by Chi-Chi's himself, Matt Cochran, James Shanewolf sitting in that third position. The 41 of Strayer and Brett Murphy in that fifth position. We are all single file from first to the 77 of Stanley in eighth. And you gotta go a little bit further back. You have Adam Capps leading Daniel Krim, who is a lap down, and the 12 of Joe Darnell. Then about 14 seconds back from them, Alan Michael Bennett and TJ Barnier working together. Then you have Mike Robinson, who we're trying to figure out what happened to the 22 and why he hit pit road by himself. Maybe he made a mistake and didn't take enough fuel. Currently don't have those numbers. And then you have Daniel Park and Daniel Krim running at 14th and 15th. But back up front, there goes the 7 now, 1 lap down. That's something Daniel Krim does not want to see.
No, now if there's going to be some sort of wreck, he's going to have to either stay out or he's going to have to hope that cautions breed cautions.
Yeah. But as we're looking at it, Park is just about 2 seconds difference to Daniel Krim, and that will be the battle for the lucky dog spot between the two of them.
Well, and as we see a little bit further back, so we had Adam Capps and Joe Darnell, who ultimately, they were 4 seconds back, and now this last lap they were 3 seconds back, because in that pack, you do have Daniel Krim, who is helping make that a 3-car tandem pack super tight in order to push going forward.
And they are closing in to Derek Stanley by leaps and bounds.
Well, we just had Adam Capps come over the comps thanking Daniel for allowing this push to happen, and that's the factor we were saying. When a driver comes in and they have nothing on the line, his race is already, without a wreck, kind of in the hole. So he's going to do what he can to help out drivers that he understands how they're racing and appreciates them.
And you're on board with the 2, Daniel Park. There's the gap, the 7 and the 47. That is your lucky dog battle. Guys, this has been absolutely crazy racing all night long. They should have wrecked multiple times, and they haven't. We've had some casualties, but they've all been towards the inside portion of the racetrack. I don't know about you, but this has been phenomenal.
I have a new term that I'm going to throw out. Aggressively patient.
Aggressively patient.
Yes.
Elaborate.
Moving through the field, all right, aggressively, but still taking the time to calculate your shot.
So it sounds like we're playing Tetris at high speeds.
Cue the music.
Oh no, why'd you do that?
To expand on that a little bit more, we joked about how Daniel Krim was in that last pack helping to give Adam Capps a push. But if you look, Adam Capps is now pushing Daniel Park, where if he's up there and he's in the lead and a caution were to come out, that gives Daniel Krim the lucky dog, and Daniel Park is able to get his lap back. So there are some other Tetris things going on here.
Or they both can lead the field, and both on the lead lap leading the field.
Playing chess at 200 miles an hour.
They're about to catch Mike Robinson down into turn number 1. Leading the field are 2 back into the lead lap trucks right now, with the 47 and the 7, as they just left Daniel Krim to dry.
Well, and this is how a chess game turns into checkers, is whenever you're 2 wide and you catch a car and have to go 3 wide.
And there's something wrong with that 22. He is sinking like a rock.
You got to wonder if he may have overheated, and that was the struggle that he had to come down pit road.
Look at how much that just hurt the 47. In a turn,
I don't know that he was aware.
In a turn, he goes from the second car on the outside to the last car in line.
It's okay. Krim will catch up. It'll be fine.
12 laps to go, though. So the pay window is starting to open. The fat lady is warming up.
Earnhardt went half the field in, was it 6 laps? Someone checked me on that. But yeah, it's pretty impressive. Just watch.
Well, he's going to need to do the field and then the field again. Appreciate everybody. If you're on YouTube, TikTok, Twitch, or even Facebook, hit that like button, subscribe, and follow. As we are coming to the end of it. That number 7 out front isn't your race leader. He's the last car on the lead lap right now, leading the field. That 12 of Joe Darnell is currently your race leader. I think Talladega is one of the only racetracks, if you have the speed, where people aren't going to yell at you to get out of the way.
No, if anything, they're going to look to use you to be able to push forward. You have to wonder, though, as the pressure comes up and we get near the end of this race, are they going to get extremely dicey in comparison to what they were before? Because they were already dicey before.
Mike Robinson and Daniel Krim just completed pit stops with 9 laps to go, or 10 laps to go. As Brett Murphy on the outside with a shove from Michael Steele, looking for the point.
As we have drivers coming down pit road, it looks like.
And Paul Irvin's going to try it again. And they're 3 wide on pit road. Somebody's going to have to give.
Well, we have 6 cars out on track, and they're trying to figure out whether they should be 2 wide or 3 wide and how they're going to jockey for these positions.
Don't go anywhere when we hit our checkered flag. We're going to talk to our podium finishers. And here comes the 60. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
You can't park there. Oh!
Oh, no.
And we're going to stay green through all of that. The 5 going a little too hot. The 41 going a little too hot. The 64 just collateral damage there. The 7's going to get an unsafe pit exit. Multiple trucks with possible multiple penalties. As here comes the cavalry. Shane Wolf, Caps, and the 4 of Matt Cochran. I know we haven't had a yellow yet. I don't know if we're going to have a yellow at all. But I want to give a huge shout out to our caution sponsor, Elite Entertainment. You can see it right on the hood of that number 2 truck. Adam Cap sponsoring all cautions here on the channel via Elite Entertainment. Link in the description below or above if you're on Facebook. But they have a good 2.5 gap to Joe Darnell and Paul Irvin. We're looking at Darnell Racing 1 through 5 right now. In numeral order, too. The 1 is in first, the 2 is in second, the number 4 is in third, the 12 is in fourth, and in fifth, it's the 48. So at least they're in number order.
That's staged.
Well, and what Darnell and Irvin need is they need Strayer to catch them and somehow get 3 trucks together, because otherwise it's going to be your top 3 finishing somewhere in that top 3. Although they're going 2 wide now, and that's not what they need to be doing if they don't want that pack to catch them.
I wonder if that has something to do with overheating. We've seen a lot of flip-flopping with these guys. As here comes the cavalry, Joe Darnell with a full head of steam with a shove from the 48 of Irvin. And this is where the 5 of them are just going to set sail.
Well, and as they sit now, I want to be right where James Shane Wolf is. I want to have Joe Darnell on my bumper that whenever Matt Cochran makes that move on Adam Capps, he's with me and we push our way to the front.
Well, one last time, let's look at those points. As there goes the move. Who needs it the most? It's that 12. It is very much that 12. But even as they sit right now, all of Darnell Racing should move on. Even if Joe Darnell stays right where he is, because Chris Sawyer, he's back in 8th place. Alan Michael Bennett is on pit road and has been on pit road for a while. Mitchell Muma and Ryan Fry aren't here. So unless something happens with 5 positions, Chris Sawyer can gain over Joe Darnell. We have our 8, but with 5 laps to go, anything can happen.
As TJ would say, hashtag chaos.
Oh, that's about to trend in the chat.
Don't fail me, boys. Light up the chat.
That's about to trend in the chat.
You're welcome.
Oh, and there goes the 4 to the outside.
It very well could be planned to ensure that they don't overheat. And what it could also do is line up this 12 truck to be the leader here at the end.
Guys, you're in the broadcast booth. You don't need to add the hashtag chaos.
Yes, we do.
We're just trendsetters.
Right. There we go. 3 to go, crossing the line. Shane Wolf, your race leader. And they are just continuing to pull away from the field. You do have a little bit of a grouping. TJ Barnier, a lap down, leading this pack, the 41 of Strayer as they're going to the outside. Murphy looking to the outside. The 10 of Sawyer, the 77 of Stanley, and Michael Steele on the outside. Uh-oh. Here we go. How? How did... They were wrecked.
What's that all about?
They were wrecked. People trying to get by a lap down 71 truck. As I say that, it looks like the 10 clips to 64 in the right rear.
How did they not wreck?
That's what I'm saying. And yeah, looking back at it, the 10 does clip the 64.
Golden Horseshoe Award.
Well, a caution changes absolutely everything. Because it's going to bunch everybody back up. As dual popsicle sticks are up in the air, we're coming to the white flag.
Well, and do these teammates decide they're going to lay it all out there? Or are they going to be content to finish 1 through 5?
Oh, we're going to find out if that number 1 goes high. As the white flag is out in the air, Barney the Flagman waving the Wrestling with Nerds podcast white flag.
Well, what we see is Adam Capps go to that high side, and he's going to be the first one to make this move.
Did Shane Wolf blink up? Shane Wolf is back. Okay, Joe Darnell getting a shove to the outside from Adam Capps. Teammates having some fun, a little contact. And they are leaving Joe Darnell out to dry. He's going to maybe have one more shot at this. But out of turn number 4, Adam Capps, your race leader. Here comes Matt Cochran to the outside. We are 3 wide through the tri-oval.
This is going to be right at the line.
Oh,
Joe Darnell?
What a finish. I think that's Joe Darnell.
Darnell, Caps, Irvin.
Wow. Gonna jump on board with Caps real quick. Wow, that's how close it is.
That is wild. And it all stemmed from Irvin making a push on that 12 truck to give him the momentum. And when Irvin went down to that middle groove to try and make a run at it, he side drafted Caps. And when he was side drafting Caps, it pulled him back and gave Darnell exactly what he needed.
Darnell Racing P1 through P5. I remember Hendrick Motorsports doing something like that here where they were 1 through 4, or they had 4 of the top 5 positions. Pretty sure Dale Jr. pushed Jimmy Johnson to that win.
I think that was with RCR. I'm pretty sure the top 8 was RCR and Hendrick Motorsports.
I think they need to tear down the engines.
Hey, good win. Don't ever bring that back. As everybody is burning it down, we will have points on the channel later on to confirm who our top 8 are moving on. But we're going to talk to our podium finishers here momentarily. But Brandon, what did you have?
If your whole team is in the top 5, you all have got to go out there and go nuts. You have to.
Run down our finishing order here from Talladega Super Speedway. The Nerds Do Nerd Things podcast 150. Joe Darnell, your race winner over Adam Capps by .012. Paul Irvin by .042. James Shanwolf by .091. 4 drivers within a tenth. And then you got Matt Cochran in 5th, Chris Sawyer in 6th, 7th, it's Michael Steele, 8th, Derek Stanley, 9th, Lucas Strayer, 10th, Brett Murphy, TJ Barnier in 11th, 12th, it's Mike Robinson, 13th, it's Daniel Krim, Daniel Park in 14th, Alan Michael Bennett coming home in 15th, and Logan Tackett coming home in 16th. I can't wait to talk to our podium drivers. Who wants to draw the short straw and talk to P3?
I can talk to Paul.
I figured. Let's see. Paul Irvin. And let's pull him up here. Brandon, here you go.
How's it going, Paul? It's Brandon, AJ, and Joe in the booth. You got us?
Yeah, I got you guys.
Man, that was a great race. The entire team that you're on there put on an absolute clinic on everyone. You almost came up on top, and the move you made at the end was fantastic. Walk us through that move, and what did you need to be able to get it done?
First off, I want to shout out Shane Wolf for the hell of a strategy call there. Pit 10 to go, and not have to save fuel like it seemed everybody else around us were. And we all pretty much executed the pit stops there. So shout out to him, obviously. The run there, I mean, I'd been through enough of these races where I knew going to the outside of Joe there, 3, 3, and 4, wasn't going to be beneficial to either of us. We probably would have ended up finishing 4th and 5th if I did that. So the only choice was to push a teammate, push Joe up there, and give him a shot if I wasn't going to get one. And then the hole opened up in the middle there late, but it's just a little bit too late with no help. So wasn't able to squeak by one. But hell of a job to Joe for holding on to the push through 3 and 4 there. I know if he wasn't expecting it, I easily could have turned him, but he did a hell of a job. And congrats to him on getting the win.
Absolutely. And like I said, y'all put on a great show for all of us. Really happy with the performance that you guys did. Is there anyone that you want to shout out here at the very end of this interview?
Yeah, well, obviously shout out Joe Darnell, obviously for the win, but also for having us on the team, and obviously we must be doing something right, going top 5 here. And again, shout out to Shane Wolf for the pick call. Shout out to Dustin Carroll for the paint scheme as always. And then obviously shout out to you guys up in the booth for putting on the show for us to be able to go back and watch.
Absolutely. Thank you. And we look forward to seeing you next week.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Yep, in 2 weeks.
Yeah, appreciate you guys.
We have a holiday next week.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, holidays.
All right.
Well, it gives us another week to celebrate this thing.
Exactly.
There you go. All right, Paul. Thanks for coming and talking with us, pal.
Thank you, guys.
Joe, do you want our race winner or do you want P2?
I'll take P2 because I actually picked him to win tonight, and we'll take second.
There you go. There's Adam Caps for you, Joe.
Mr. Caps, welcome to the booth, sir. You got a copy?
I got you.
Second place, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
I picked you to win this.
Well, I appreciate that. I was trying.
Good run.
Yeah, we had great. Shane Wolf called great strategy right there for us, and we just broke 5 away. I think we ended up being 8 seconds ahead of the next car. It was a fantastic call, and the way we were working with each other to try to just keep building the lead. So it worked out great for us as a team. We all agreed to run to the tri-oval clean on the last lap.
It was a good strategy call. It was an absolute thing of beauty. Is there anybody you'd like to shout out?
Yeah, Nifty Lift, John Headland for sponsoring us, Easler Electric, Brian Easler, and Joe Darnell from Darnell Racing. You guys in the booth. I'm trying to think anybody else they got. Elite Entertainment. All of them. I think that's it.
Well, good run tonight, and congratulations to the entire team.
I appreciate it, guys.
Enjoy the week off, and we'll see you at Las Vegas in 2 weeks, pal.
Sounds good. We'll see you then.
All right, it is time to talk to the race winner, the leader of the group, Joe Darnell, coming home with the win here at Talladega Super Speedway. How does it feel, pal?
Feels good. I mean, the win feels great. I like the top 5 though by the entire team. Like Shane Wolf, he called the best strategy in the world. I'm sure the other two's already told you that.
Yes.
Yeah, we're all sitting there, and he's like, we all need to get in line. Everybody was saving. I don't get why everybody's saving so much. Like, we took 5.1 there when we came in. Shane was like, let's go, 10 to go. We're coming in, no tires, 5.1. Did it. Him, Adam, and Matt got out in front of me and Paul, but we caught back up. And then at that point, we were just, whoever was second in line, we were just, running until it got hot. Leader would move, go to the back, and we did that all the way to the finish. And we all made the agreement, not to do anything. We said the last lap, but it was like, let's wait till we get out of 4 at least, tri-oval, something like that, because we didn't want to wreck ourselves with 2 to go and then bring a caution out and we all look stupid. So, but it worked out. Paul gave me a huge push from behind. I thought Matthew he made the move first, and then I thought he was going to come all the way up and I was going to push him, but then he left space. So I told him, I was like, sorry, buddy, love you. I got to go. So, I had to take it. I've only won the one league race before, and it was Daytona. So I told them I feel like Michael Waltrip now, just only going to win Daytona and Talladega apparently.
Happy you said Michael Waltrip and not Austin Dillon.
Yeah, no, we don't speak that name. But anyways, no, it was a great run though. Like the entire team, we played it well. All of us led. Like, I don't know if y'all paid attention at the beginning of the stream. We actually planned out the start of the race too. All 5 of us had a lap led in the first 6 laps.
Yes.
we planned that one too. So, granted, it was field size, I guess. Like, we still had 16 in that. Still a a decent field than what I figured we may have, but
It was a decent enough field where movement could have happened.
yes. So I'm actually surprised we was able to do that, to get the bonus point lead. That was a conversation we had right at the end of practice. Like, let's go ahead and, let's all get a lap lead, get the bonus point out of the way for trying to advance. And now we got 5 of the 8 drivers in the next round. So odds are looking pretty good right now.
Yeah, we've seen the odds be in teams' favor before, and once we get to that final 4, now that it's a playoff round for the championship round, not a race, we'll see. But I'm really excited to see what you guys have down the stretch now that we have Vegas, Richmond, and Rockingham, our next 3 races.
Yeah, I got to get points in the first 2. Rockingham's not a good track for me. I still have yet to get the feel of that place. I mean, I'm not horrible at it, but I need to score points, good points in the first two races. But and I'm gonna be honest, like if I make it to the championship, I make it. But like from looking at what we got, I'm gonna be dissatisfied if I don't have the entire Final 4. I know that's throwing it out there, but I'm gonna be unhappy if I don't have the whole Final 4.
All right, brother. Well, any thank yous you want to throw out there?
Yeah, number 1, my entire team. Shane Wolf did a great call right there. But the entire team, man, we've worked together all year long, last year and this year. It's been strong. I think we wrapped up the team championship like 4 weeks ago, but I mean, but the guys are just great, man. I've said it before, even with coming up here, only finishing 2nd or 3rd. Like I've learned so much from these guys, and I know this place is a little different. It is a plate track, but you still got to have good teammates. You still got to work a strategy, and I mean, we did it. We got a top 5, and I don't know this to be a fact. I'd like for somebody to find out, but I have a feeling that might have been the closest finish in this league's history, going back to no matter how many different league names it was underneath. I would have a feeling it's one of the closest, if not the closest. But yeah, shout out to the
under
whole
a 10th.
yeah. But now shout out to the whole team. Shout out to Dustin Carroll. He paints a lot of the trucks. He paints all of mine for every league I race in. Thanks to you guys. AJ, you call a great race. I can't wait to go back and watch this one. I'm going to watch it tonight as I lay down. I usually wait till Tuesday, but I'm going to watch it tonight. Man, I thought the league, I'm not going to lie, I thought the league was going to fall apart a month or 2 ago, but it stayed together, and we're showing that we don't need certain people, that we can still put on good races without certain people and certain drama. And I look forward to see how the rest of the season ends, and going forward in this league. It's a good league, and people need to give it a chance. So hopefully we can get the name out there, and turn a 16 truck field into a 30 truck field, and try to keep it the whole season. I think this league deserves that.
Yeah, I think it does as well, and I'm very proud of the guys that stuck around and battled with us. We are putting on phenomenal race after phenomenal race. And Joe, you have a lot to do with that, with keeping everybody's heads cool. But congratulations on the win, and we'll talk to you at Las Vegas.
Yes, sir. Y'all have a great evening. Thank you.
All right, catch you later, pal.
Thank you.
Joe, we'll start with you. Break it down. How'd you think the race went?
Surprisingly clean and entertaining to watch.
Brandon?
As per usual, whatever it is that I say you should do on the track, don't do it, because I'm usually wrong. The driver who was the most aggressive and patiently aggressive, as was pointed out earlier, won the race. So always be racing.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you all for tuning in to the Nerds Doing Nerd Things podcast 150 from Talladega Super Speedway. Tonight was the cutoff race. Points will be up on All Star 15 TV, their Facebook page, within the next hour or so you guys can get a look at who's moving on. But for Joe, Brandon, and myself, have a good night. Check out all our sponsors. Hit that like, subscribe, follow, all that beautiful stuff that helps push out the channel. We will catch you tomorrow night for the XMS Rick Motec Truck Series from Iowa Speedway. Take care, everybody.